Let me tell you, the kids are suffering. We are suffering every day when we attend school and are told that we cannot see each other, that we cannot be too close to each other, told that we will be responsible for hurting someone if we take our masks off. Let me tell you now, you are the ones hurting us. We cannot focus. We cannot smile at our friends. We cannot understand each other when we talk. Our teachers are now focusing on whether or not we're wearing a mask rather than our education. Instead of our mental health, they're focusing on whether or not we're wearing a mask. 2 weeks ago, on January 26th, I was asked to leave school, not because of something I did, but rather because of something I did not do. I was not violent. I did not harm any person or property. I showed no disrespect towards anyone. I was made to leave because I did not wear a mask. I've always been told that actions speak louder than words. I've been told it's important to stand up to those who bully you. I've realized that that does not mean only when I'm a child. It means any time my rights are infringed upon. I was sent home from school because I did not comply. Others would join me if it wasn't because they feared for their future. To everyone listening to this, please join me. It's not something that's going to come after you. It's worth it. Members of the board, on Thursday you will vote. I will be here. I hope that you stop voting on how you feel and vote with the law. Thank you.
My son, who you just heard from, has not been allowed in his high school in 2 weeks. Why not? Because he had the audacity to follow a legal executive order instead of the persistent overreach of this school board. For that, he's no longer entitled to an in-person education. It seems like some of this board care much more about political agendas than the law. To those of you who might have wanted to do the right thing but were afraid, it's time. You heard 2 weeks ago from many parents. After that, I heard things like, I think SB 1303 and Executive Order 2 can work together, but I'm not comfortable with it. And we haven't heard from the other side. And we don't want to pull the rug from under parents who want masks, or even referencing an SEA survey as a reason to disregard the executive order. I just heard in the working group, what if we remove masks and there's an outbreak? Well, shoot. I guess the law should not apply, and we should live in fear for the rest of our lives. Now that the Supreme Court of Virginia did exactly what A.G. Miyares asked for and dismissed the case from 13 parents in Chesapeake, what is the reason for the masks to continue? In the future, I would ask you to refrain from basing Stafford County policy on every lawsuit from a fringe group of parents in a district on the other side of the state. Thank you to those board members who've actually been consistent in their position to abide by the law. I've already decided that when it comes to your overreach and my choices as a parent, that I will not comply. I would say that it is time to get this right, but we're far beyond that. It's time to fix it, so fix it now. And oh, by the way, when you realize that you have been stepping on somebody else's rights, the answer is not to give yourselves a week to get ready to stop trampling on us. It's to move now, so do it tonight. Until then, if you're a parent, stand up. It's way past time.
And the masks make it even harder for us to socialize. I am an extrovert. I notice faces. I'm a visual learner. When I am unable to see faces, when I'm unable to process those types of things, it has made my life a lot harder, and it has for other students as well. It just simply isn't fair to be all in this political stance because, like I said, I'm an X and a page. I know when things are political, and this is very much a political talk. It should not be. It should be about the students and about the parents, and what the parents think are best for the students. Some of the people who are up here talking about it don't even have kids. This should be about what the kids desire, what is going to help the kids. We are the future. You should be worrying about us and about how this will benefit us in the future. Thank you.
It's not a fact that anybody wants to keep this nasty thing on, because I don't like it no more than anybody else. But what's even worse than this is the virus, which goes out, and it may not affect the young kids because they're strong, but it may affect the older population when they come home being advised, because how is this virus being put? Well, it's these guys that's strong, asymptomatic, the virus doesn't affect them, they go home and give it to somebody who is not as effectively strong to happen. So how do you get that? How do you prevent that portion from being on? Is it your parents' choice? You wouldn't take your kids to your parents knowing that they had the virus, but how do you figure that out? What is the system that we have in place to prevent that spread? If I remember the last time when the virus came down and people took the Band-Aid and took the mask off, shortly afterward, it spiked back up. So did we learn our lesson? The lesson is we haven't figured out how to stop the spread through anything. The vaccine doesn't do it. It just prevents you from having the terrible symptoms.
I, again, like so many others that come before you, to ask you to allow us to make the decision of whether to wear a mask or not for our own children. We reluctantly abided by Governor Northam's mask mandate for the last 6 months. He is no longer our governor. The people of this state spoke. We voted our new governor, Governor Youngkin. We now ask you to abide by, reluctantly or not, his executive order and allow us, the parents, to decide what is right for our children. As our public servants, we are here to tell you what we want. We want a choice. Whether it is to have our children wear a mask or not, we just want everyone to make their own educated or uneducated choice. As for me, I have done my research. I have found more data on the harm these masks, social distancing, and fear are causing our children emotionally, physically, and mentally than I have found on the efficacy of these restrictions and mandates. I understand there are people who are concerned about their own children's health or personal health. Maybe they're immunocompromised. I am sympathetic, but they have always lived among us through flu season after flu season. Masks have never been required. They have every right to wear a mask. I'm not asking them not to, but out of the same respect, they should not ask me or my children to wear one.